For a long time, people were told who gets to be an athlete and what an athlete should look like. We think that definition is way too small. Hi, I'm Tony Settle. Welcome to An Athlete is an Athlete, a storytelling series highlighting queer people in sports and recreational activities. Every athlete has a story to tell, and discovering what it means to show up as your authentic self. Through these conversations, we are celebrating the everyday athletes among us. Our hope is that as you listen, you'll discover that our stories are far more alike than they are different, because an athlete is an athlete. I'd like to welcome our guest today, Manuel, native son of New Jersey, living in Miami. Welcome. It's such a good pleasure to see you, brother. I'm glad you're doing well.
I appreciate big warm welcome. Yes, I am a New Jersey native, Jersey City. Shout out to all my Jersey City peeps. I have been trying to navigate and persevere through this state of world that we're in, especially as an openly queer into these heteronormative spaces. I have gravitated towards athletics. I am an athlete at heart. And I am just so honored to share my story and share my experience for someone out there that this could help. And so I, especially as someone who identify as a person of color, want to just make sure that I'm pushing my community, supporting my community in the best way and shape that I can, even through everything that's been going on in my life. But thank you so much for inviting me for this interview.
When we met, I guess maybe 2-3 years ago, Pride here in Jersey City, I met quickly, but then you played in the Dodgeball League back in 25. And I got to see like a person filled with joy. And I just thought to myself, this dude has got to be part of this series whenever we get this off the ground. So I'm so thrilled that you are our inaugural interview, the first of its kind that we're going to put together. And so I'm so excited. That's all I get. I can't say anything more of it. I'm just super excited. Let's kick this off. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about your story and about your journey in sport?
Graduated from Henry Snyder High School. I experienced the love of sports by joining an intramurals club. And I just thought that even as hearing like the horror stories and the disparities that queer and gay males went through trying to even like join sports, you know what I'm saying? I did serve my older brother playing volleyball, and I didn't even know that I had hidden talents when it came to sports. I am competitive at nature. I didn't even put 2 and 2, even though I'm a math teacher, a high school math teacher at that. And yeah, just starting that journey and being on football teams with my uncles, just street football, playing in the projects and Duncan projects in Jersey City has really shaped who I am as a male. You know what I'm saying? Live as a gay man, living in this heteronormative society that is trying to take over and trying to erase our queer culture that we have been building. Just speaking on that and shedding light to that is something important for me, especially as somebody that identifies as color. You never know anybody's story. As I evolved into my educational career 4 years ago, back in 2023, I started gravitating more into running and doing more of a cross-country type of set when it comes to running and long periods of time of running. And I never knew that running has become a therapy for me.
Okay.
It has shaped me mentally, physically, spiritually. I didn't know talent poetry, and running has incited a way for me to concentrate, be in a headspace that I didn't even know that I, even as a queer, almost 40 years old male, because we're supposed to be branded into shaping and moving into spaces because we're supposed to be this man, we're supposed to be tough, we're supposed to be whatever. But being able to tap in to that isolation and into that solitude and to craft all of this art, you know what I'm saying, has been a pivotal moment for me. So running to me has been the highlight of my life. I run every day, most part, because I have a lot of things that are going on in my life. But recently, 2 days ago, I ran. I was just like, I could just pick it up. I could put it down on a shelf and then I could just pick it up because as an athlete, you're able to do and just be. It doesn't matter who you are or what size. you're able to do what you want and just be able to move. And I just thank God that I'm able to do that because
Yeah.
not many people are fortunate of that.
I find you talk about mental space, right? I'm a golfer. So like today, I was at the range for 3 hours from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock this morning, and just hitting bucket after bucket and bucket of balls, or going out to a putting area or pitching area, and just everything that's going on, the whirlwind that goes on in life. I was able to put all that aside and just focus and be at peace. I get what you're saying. I understand it. I want to ask you a question. So, what drew you to running? What drew you to your sport?
Kind of solidified it was a huge breakup and feeling like I had nothing, that I lost everything. I lost my
Mhm.
apartment, lost my job, I lost my car, I lost my money, I lost my
Mm,
friends, the people that I thought that were in my corner. You know what I mean? But shout out to the people that still tried to reach out to me, even though I felt alone here. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Because
Yeah,
physically you could be with people, but and then they're there trying to support you, but you don't internalize that support. You don't accept it because it's so clouded. And then when the dust settles, you're able to internalize it, accept that help is there.
yeah,
I call it my Forrest Gump moment where he just ran because that's all he had.
yeah.
And that right there has been my solace
Mm,
to this pain and to this turmoil. Because I'm be honest with you, I have been through homelessness. You know what I'm saying? And then just dealing with cancer, my mom getting cancer, and then just dealing with all those repercussions. You know what I'm saying? That your partner that you've been with for almost 15 years now just quits on you
mm.
because you're having a mental crisis, because your crisis is too hard for them to understand and internalize. So that right there helped me to really find a way to ground myself because there's a lot has happened to me that I've done to myself that I use to escape. You know what I'm saying? And I just say that I just didn't make the best choices for myself and I didn't choose the right outlets. And I'm just happy that I was able to find something positive that was genderless, that didn't involve a lot of rigor when it comes to judgment, when it comes to socioeconomics. Like anybody can run, anyone can just pick up and just go. Like you don't need to be a rich person. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's what I had to myself. That was my solace. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that can't do that. They can just sit there, they can pass judgment on you, but
Yeah.
they can't literally get their ass out of bed to move. So I
That's
just felt really blessed in that nature to do
okay.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry for saying ass,
No,
but
you're in a safe space. It's a safe space. No, I hear you, man. And like, I think we've all been there at some point to one degree or another. And so, yeah, thank you for sharing that. But when it comes to being an athlete, when you look in the mirror, what does being an athlete mean to you?
an athlete means to me someone that is able to push themselves against their grain, like the grain of their limits, that has a way to check into that system that they create and create a world for themselves that they are they have a superpower. So being an athlete is like a superpower to me. Like you could, and it doesn't even matter what sport that you're in. I just feel really thankful that I'm able to play volleyball or run or play dodgeball and be amongst people that share that same connection. Just being an athlete is one who embodies their own strength, that pushes themselves above their own limits and accepts just themselves as they are to shape who they can be. So it's a strength, it's a superpower.
Yeah.
So
So you see your superhero, look in
I'm
the
a
mirror.
superhero. When I'm
Yes.
running, I'm quick, I'm flash. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know what I mean? Nothing can stop me. I'm running with the wind. Nothing can hold me back. Okay, except if my battery dies on my phone, so I can't record my slow-mo videos. So everybody they know me as the slow-mo running man.
When I'm on the golf course, right, and I'm having a great day, which is not that often. I still go out every time I can get out there, and I hit that one shot. just that one shot that's like a pro. That's what tells me, okay, yes, I'm an athlete at this event, at this game, right? Just that one. And if I'm lucky, I get a few of them and play really well. But you just keep going back out. You keep going back out. One of
I
the
can
things,
definitely relate to it because back in October 2024, I won my first 5K marathon for my age group. That's how old I am. I'm like, they have to categorize it by age groups. So my age group was 30 and over. So I ran a 5K at less than 24 minutes.
wow,
Yes, that was like, and
wow,
I was pushing myself at the end, but the terrain where I was running, I forgot it was a farm, but it was like in central New Jersey.
yeah,
Can't really recall, like, but I know it's kind of like something like a Columbus marathon or something like that. They always have this theme marathon. I ran it and I won, but it's just to show you that they had to categorize it by age. But the male, when it was like gender categorized,
mm,
youngest male that won with 16 minutes was 14 years old. Like at 16, you had the stamina to really do a 5K. Okay, for those people that don't know what a 5K is about, 3.112 or something like about
yeah.
3.12 of a mile. That's long. And then to do that at the age of 14 for 16 minutes, you must have been sprinting from the start to finish. So I was really proud of him. But then
No,
just coming in as first place for 30 and over, I was like 36. Well, but I'm proud of it. But yeah, right there was my pro athlete moment. So I really cherish that. I really hold that to my heart. So yeah, I
yeah.
can relate.
And our listeners who are not runners, I am not a runner, but I did run. And it took me, I was 60, but it took me 3 minutes to finish the 5K.
It's rigorous.
And it was uphill, downhill,
It's
flat land.
rigorous.
When I was finished, it did not look cute. But speaking of looks, right? One of the things that as a golfer, and I try to get people into the game of golf, right? And the first thing they always say to me is, I'm not a golfer, or I would suck. And my thing is to say, when everybody starts, we all suck, right? It's just persistence that does keys. And I know what they're telling me when they say, oh, I suck, is that they don't think that they would fit the idea or the ideal of being an athlete in that particular sport. Did you ever have moments like that where you did not feel like you fit in this sport? What were the reasons why you felt that way?
I just felt like as a queer male, I just felt like I had to be super masculine. I
Yeah.
really had to be hyper masculine when it came to me doing sports. Running with a woman that doesn't understand gayness and that doesn't understand that perspective as
Mhm.
a heterosexual woman really lend to the reason of me being self-conscious instead of her supporting me. So I did what most competitive people do. I outran them because that right there gave me the motivation that I need to really push myself above the grain. That I
Mhm.
didn't need to be straight. I didn't need to hold this level of integrity when it came to my sexuality to do a sport.
Yeah.
And that right there is like, it's too tiring. It's too tiring to keep proving all the time or to keep coming out all the time in these spaces where a place that it's supposed to bring solace and joy becomes like a battlefield. So yeah, yes, I had that encounter. Having that kind of helped me to create a tough skin for myself. Then I started losing weight. Then my body started looking better. So I even looked way fucking sexier. It just enticed me even more to just be myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I am sexy. I am gay. I am masculine. You understand what I'm saying? I am feminine and I embrace it. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not
Yep.
trying to be anybody that I'm not.
I do.
And that right there, it
Yeah.
threatens people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I have been really fortunate, and this is not to say that this is the norm because I know it's not the norm, right? But I've been really fortunate. Golf is not known as a gay sport. It's like you don't see a lot of men admitting that they're gay playing golf. It's generally a wealthy man's sport. It costs a lot of money, blah blah blah, the whole nine. So I've been fortunate that I've been able to play with people who, and those that did know, I knew that they didn't know, but It didn't change them, it changed me and how I approach the game, right? Because you don't get to approach the game as your true authentic self when you're behind a wall, right? When you're
It's like
playing
a
behind the
shield
wall.
is
Yeah. 17, and then in 2018, I played first in the World Out Games in Miami Beach, and yeah, golf course. And then in 2018, I went to Paris to play the gay games, right? And those were the first two times, and I've been golfing like almost 35 years. Those were the first two times I golfed with other people who identified within the LGBT plus community. Brother, such a liberating moment. They were such liberating. I didn't have to hide who I was. I didn't have to code any language. I didn't have to say, I didn't have to say if I was dating somebody. And at the time I was with my partner we've been together 19 years now. I didn't have to say, oh, other half, my
Mhm.
spouse. I could say my boyfriend, my husband, nobody batted an eye. Yeah. Can you speak to what it means to you to be able to be authentic within your own sport, within your own sport or sports? Because I know you play dodgeball, you play volleyball. I know you do a lot of athletic things. What does it mean to you to be able to be you, totally you, in these spaces?
It didn't put that idea of gender or sexuality in the forefront. We literally were ourselves, whether we were throwing a volleyball or throwing a dodgeball, like it was a pokeball, and like really like getting into certain characters. We literally looked at competition. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody was playing them, theirs, he, him, she, her. You know what I'm saying? It didn't even matter. We all were competitors. We were a community. Didn't feel like a Martian in a world that I was born to that I didn't even fucking choose.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We're all living and breathing today for the first time. Like, why aren't we kind to each other? Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So,
Yeah.
being able to connect and share competition, share what camaraderie is, share like creating a name, sharing like our own magic moves, our own little inside jokes with our teams, like that right there created an ownership that no one can take away. And then playing for Garden State, Rainbow Sports has been that shape. It shaped my whole perspective of playing sports in general. I didn't even know that I was able to be involved or invested in a community, shared the same insight that I had and shared with sports. So, yes, I really appreciate that. It just allows us to find a safe space to just really authentically be athletes without
Yeah.
any real judgment. You know what I'm saying? It just really is mind boggling to me that you have people that are really walking into these spaces and actually looking at queerness as it is an impediment. That right there is in their own mental disorder. Because how could sexuality be an impediment?
I think it is. It's been good to me. What would you say to someone who does not see themselves as an athlete? They may love a sport, but don't see themselves as an athlete. They may play a sport, but they don't see themselves as an athlete. What would you say to that person?
I would say to that person that you don't knock it until you try it. And if you don't feel like you're good enough, why don't you just reach out or just do your own research on who is good enough? Why don't you reach out to people and seek community that do share those same insight? I wish that I had the opportunity, even as a youth, as part being a queer youth, and back in when I was 16, to have that space to really connect with people because it was like really taboo as a 16-year-old male, like exploring my sexuality and not being able to understand that. I wish that I had that way to play basketball and not feel like I was being judged because I know how to play basketball. I know how to play a lot of sports. I played baseball on Sundays with my grandfather. I remember not all the time. That's when I call them the golden days because
Yeah.
those days weren't always there. I really had to say this, I just say that you don't let those pimple moments block you from exploring the part that's going to save you in the future. And
Yeah.
that's why I told even my future students as well that you working out right now, you're creating a regimen for yourself spiritually, emotionally, and physically. You know what I'm saying? So don't block your blessing, especially when you have it. There are people that are out there that have to learn how to have physical impairments that they can't change. And you have it. Don't let your mind block what you can be.
Yeah.
So
That's good advice. Don't let your mind block what you can be.
as
Yeah. We speak teacher language, so I get it. We get it. I get
you
it.
do, I do, we do, right?
Yeah, exactly. My last question, what does showing up or doing your personal best look like for you?
Showing up for yourself or showing up for your community?
Just showing up. What does showing up or doing your personal best look like for you? Whether that's for you, whether that's for the community, whether it's for family, but what does showing up as you in your totality, what does that look like?
My totality, showing up for myself has been my main real saving grace in everything that I have been going through in my life. I have turned the isolation that I feel that the world has been putting me into a weapon from the
Mhm.
isolation from the world that I am living in. You understand? And
Mhm.
the just being just whether showing up for myself, whether it's getting a haircut or I just literally took myself out to dinner. You know what I'm saying? Before I did this interview, just showing up for myself, being myself authentically in all my spaces. I don't have to put on a facade. I could be authentic in nature at my heart and at my best is showing up and then for myself. And without showing up for myself, then I can't show up for my community. Being a resource, being a go to for people and embracing my differences, embracing my community's differences is the way that I show up out in the world. Whether it's I'm at a bus stop because I don't currently don't have a car. If I see a homeless man that literally people have been walking over because they're on vacation and they don't know better that this is a norm over here, that the homeless rate is at 77,000 people currently in Miami that are homeless. Nobody knows that. You know what I'm saying? Or they do and they don't care. And it's just as simple as giving somebody water or like buying them like plátano chips or something like that.
Yeah.
And just wherever you are in all those aspects of yourselves. Like whether it's giving back to your community, volunteering, okay, and then just showing up for yourself, having that space to do your
Yeah.
work, to train, to go to the gym, to run, to play golf, to play racquetball, to play tennis and soccer, running with your students, showing them that you could keep up. You know,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can run.
Yeah.
But just give me 10 minutes after 15. I can run. Because soccer is very rigorous and
Yeah.
I'm able to do that. And people my age, I'm about to be 40. I'm 38 years old. And people my age can't even move the way that I move. And I'm pretty blessed about it.
Yeah.
And I really don't care if they judge me or not. I really don't. Once I let that mindset go, the opportunities were boundless.
I think that's the whole point, right?
Yes.
Opportunities are boundless. Like when you're able to show up as your authentic self. And I always talk about showing up as your authentic self and finding your tribe, right? Finding your people. They're not going to judge you. They're going to see you as one of their own. They're going to support you. They're going to be there. That's to me is one of the hallmarks of sports. If it's a team sport or even if it's an individual sport, right? The team works best when the team comes together and they put all the
Right.
differences aside and they come together for the one goal of winning the game. Individual sport, such as golf, and I have actually played team golf, right? I've played as a team, but it's still incumbent upon you to get the first shot out there and to play, and then get them and keep it in play. And play the ball where the ball lies. Great metaphor for life, right?
Yes.
Whatever you have to deal with, You got to deal with it right then and there. And not what happened 5 minutes ago, and it's not what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. It's what's right in front of you. Play the ball where it lies. And these are great metaphors for life. These are great lessons for life. This is why I love sport. Don't get me wrong. I love a good cocktail. I love a good track show. But baby, don't take away my golf clubs, right? I got to be out there on the course at least a few times a week. And now I'm at that place where I can go out there a few times a week.
I'm the same way when it comes to running.
Yeah, it's day by day, every step, right? One foot in front of the other. Every step gets you one step closer to your goal. Every shot gets you one step closer to your goal. And to me, that's the most important part of the sport. Is
if I had to close this out, I would close it out by saying, just be authentic with who you want to be and live the life that you want. If you want to live by the beach, you know what I'm saying? Then you go and you live by the beach. Like you just ignore like outside noise, like just what just happened now. You just let them just settle, the dust settles on its own, and you just stay focused like you're a meteorite. You're just beaming through everything and use whatever the isolation that you feel as your tool to become better, as a tool to create that chrysalis that you need. So that way you can blossom, crack into that metamorphosis to bloom into whatever you want to be. So that if I had to say what I want to share with you guys, let go of what's happening in this brain, because this right here sometimes could be the biggest setback for you. And then just move forward like you're a comic.
Yeah. And Manuel, thank you so much, brother. It's so good to see you. When you come back up to Jersey City, boy, stop in and say hi. Holla at your boy.
You know, we're gonna have a cocktail soon.
Look, I'll make it. Okay, I'll make it. I want to say thank you to Manny Donis. Great interview. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. And the most important thing is you have a right to be there. You're not an ask. You're not asking for permission.
I'm not even rich, and I'm living here. You can do it too. You just have to have a plan and you have to be committed to it.
And speaking of Paris, for anyone who's out there who may want to join us in 2030, we're going to Perth, Australia for Gay Games 13. Join us. Stay tuned for more information about that, because we will have more information on that. You can find us on the website at www.gsrainbowsports.org. You can find us on our Instagram at GS Rainbow Sports, or on Facebook and TikTok, or as I like to say, tease my nieces and nephews, the TikTok.